that are not in those positions of power, so to speak, in the business. And I think, to tell you the truth, I think that a whole bunch of us need to get together and stuff and build something. I think a whole bunch of us need to get together and try to build on something. But going back, to the history of the business, here's a little known fact that you probably don't even know. In 1962, one of the biggest stars of black athletes in the entire business, Bobo Brazil, okay, whom he used to come into my grandma's restaurant too and eat, and he used to shop at One Stop on the south side of Chicago and whatnot. But anyway, in 1962, Bobo Brazil won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. But and let me tell you, he beat Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, went over on Nature Boy Buddy Rogers for the NWA World Heavyweight title. Well, here's something that's really, that's really ridiculous. The NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, never acknowledged Bobo Brazil to be the legitimate NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So although he beat Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, it is not etched down in the annals of history that he was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion or the true legitimate NWA World Heavyweight Champion. It's quite sad. What's even sadder than that is because if you count in the last, let's say 50 years, okay, of world championships, count how many black men actually held the world championships in the last 50 years. Okay, think about it. Okay, think about it. In the last 50 years, how many black world champions has it been? How many Latino world champions has it been for major titles? How many from Japan actually won? Okay, won the major championships, in either TNA or WWE. I can tell you in the last 50 years, it's only been 4, maybe 5, okay, African American world heavyweight champions, which some may have won 2, may have been 2-time champions. So you can just count that as one. You can count that as one. So think about it. We still face a lot of racism in this business. And whether people want to know it or not, okay, and, they don't want to admit it. And I know a lot of guys out there that don't want to admit it, that it exists, but it does because they have big dreams of someday reaching the WWE or, TNA and what have you. But, the reality is, okay, you're still living in a matrix, okay? And really, unless, okay, you can make it, you can make it on a couple of things, but your talent is not going to be one of them. Okay, you could be I know guys in the Chicago area. I know 20 or 30 guys in the Chicago area that could be in the WWE, can be in TNA, and that are not there and have spent many years in the business and can work and can talk on the mic and can do everything. These guys are talented, but you know what? They'll never get there because you got to have a couple of things in order to get there. First off, you got to have big connections, okay? You think CM Punk didn't have connections, and whatnot? Well, CM Punk's not black either. So, okay, we'll leave him out of that equation, all right? Period. So, but to really make it in the big leagues and whatnot, okay, quite honestly, it helps if you're a Caucasian. But if you're not a Caucasian, you got the deck stacked against you pretty much, and I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. You got the deck. You got the deck stacked against you. Um, Number two, kiss a lot of ass. Number three, kiss a lot of ass. Number four, kiss a lot of ass and stab a lot of people in the back, and maybe you will make it. But if you're black, that's not gonna happen. Okay? You can be, you can sell out, be an Uncle Tom, and yes sir, no sir, yes sir, no sir, and I'll clean your lawn for you. During the week I'll come over, I'll cut your grass, and all that stuff. No matter what you do. I mean, you got to be one of those select few. Okay, and some of the brothers to keep their jobs, they had to play the game, and they did, and some of those guys are getting the scraps thrown to them and whatnot. But pretty much, how long are their jobs gonna last? Look at what happened to MVP. Enough said. The guy was incredibly talented. He was a U.S. champion, but look what happened. Now this cat's over in Japan, and maybe one day he'll try to get back in WWE. But I mean, if he doesn't, I think he can go other places and work. But really, to tell you about the wrestling business and the African American athlete, it is until we all get together and and say, okay, let's put our egos aside and let's get together and pull our resources, business wise, pull our resources, set our egos to the side, and say, hey, since Vince owns the monopoly and TNA doesn't seem to want to incorporate, people of different ethnicities, okay, which I'm going to say that right now because I've seen it. I've seen TNA Gut Check, and I got a chance to check that out. And yeah, there are people of color in that company, but there are no people of color that's main eventing, in the world heavyweight title picture. I mean, and I'm just telling the truth. There are none that's pretty much headlining. Because you got these same guys that's been around almost 30 and 35 years, which I want to get into that too. Okay, the Hulk Hogan's, and I have none against Sting. I love Sting. Okay, and Sting has the right attitude. He's trying to help the younger guys out. But guys like, and that was going to be, the subject of the second part of this video, which was going to be how the old fogies are still sticking around if they're not trying to put over the younger guys, if they're not trying to help them. I mean, I don't even want to get into that right now because there's a lot I could say about the Ric Flairs and the Hulk Hogans and whatnot that's been around, for so long. And instead of trying to help the younger guys out and whatnot, they want to still remain in the spotlight. Come on, guys. It's over. Okay, it's over. I grew up watching you guys, and it's over. It's done. Okay, after a certain age, you gotta let it go. It's like who was that? Teddy Pendergrass said in his song, "I think I gotta let it go." I mean, you just have to. You gotta let it go. It's done. It's over. Okay. But what else I wanted to get into was the ridiculous, racist names and gimmicks. Okay. Which is going to be in the next part. But let me, just dabble in it a little bit. Okay. Some of the racist names, that black wrestlers had to deal with was names like Pork Chop Cash, Awesome Kong, King Kong Clayton, just to name a few. I don't know what the Crime Time thing was all about, but these were two talented black wrestlers, and I'm gonna get into more of the gimmick, the gimmick stealing, and whatnot from other personas. Okay, John Cena, John Cena was one of the guys that did it. Dusty Rhodes was another guy that did it. They stole black personas and whatnot. John Cena stole a hip hop gimmick and whatnot, and he reaped untold fortunes from it. Okay, congratulations. You were able to make a living out of that. But okay, look at Crime Time. Crime Time pretty much had the same hip hop gimmick, although they had them being on grime and all that, stealing and whatnot, which okay, really, Vince, do all black people steal? Do they all, are they all like on grime? Or, do they all, plan to try to get over on people? No. You got hardworking individuals out there, and I'm not talking about The Rock. I'm so sick of talking about The Rock, I don't know what to do. Okay, look, there are more black people out there besides Dwayne, look, you got like guys like Kofi Kingston, and Ron the Truth Killings, which is my favorite worker. The guy can work, and don't let him get on the microphone because the guy will blow anybody, black or white, away. As far as on that microphone, he will blow anybody away on that mic. And I'm not just saying that. The proof is in the pudding. Watch any promo that Ron has done. Watch any promo that Ron has done, and the guy does his job. He makes you feel something, and he can make you laugh, he can make you cry, whatever it is. Ron has the it factor, but has Ron ever got to that level? No. He's never got to main event status. Up until like, what was that, 2001, 2002? He was main event status in TNA when TNA first started out, when it was still the NWA TNA. And that's because the cat, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, made it that way. He made it that way. He seen that Ron can do something, and he went on ahead and he took that ball. Ron took that ball and ran with it. But shortly after that, back down again. So is there racism in professional wrestling? Yes, I do. And part 2 of this will be coming up very, very soon, And until then, brothers and sisters, keep being soldiers in the struggle. And oh my goodness, I'm just thinking about the wrestler that got murdered. I just think that it's just so, it is just so what mirrors our society, and everything. It is just so horrible, of what happened to that guy. That guy was trying to work within the business and whatnot, and then he gets murdered, because White Boy Roy didn't want him to go over on him. He felt it was unfair, so okay, enough about that. I'm gonna come at you with part 2, of this racism in professional wrestling and whatnot. And as I said, free your mind, stop living in the matrix, wake up and think. Wake up and think. Think for yourselves, be free thinkers, and don't be a sheeple. Think for yourselves and follow your heart, and just pretty much, like I said, think for yourself and free your mind. And don't keep living in the matrix. This is Will Martell, or Will Abdul Ghaffar, saying deuces